and welcome to Export Advice. Today we have Mr. Pankaj Kapoor again with us and we'll continue with our conversation where we left. Mr. Pankaj Kapoor promoted Lysis Faraz from 1999 and since then he is the face of the industry. Mr. Pankaj is known for his sharp vision within the industry and here we have Mr. Pankaj Kapoor with us.
Thank you so much.
I want to talk about the macro situation. There is a lot of change in the sentiments. As we see that the inflation is coming down, a lot is improving on the macro front. There's some amount of growth revival too. So, I wanted to ask whether the promise Achhe Din is here for the real estate sector or we still have to wait.
There are good signs which are suggesting that economy will grow from here, and if economy will grow, then the people's income will certainly grow. Along with that, inflation is also in containment. So because of that, the way the construction cost and the cost has gone up will also be arrested. The rise will not be as much. So overall aspects looks good. But the problem is that the gap is so huge. So you can't really solve the problem unless there's a... So in a market, how the problem got increased, like in a market from 2009 to 2013, when the industry was undergoing recession, when the economy was down, if the realty rate surged at a 30% CAGR level, when the peoples were being retrenched and the incomes were not really coming, so it has created the gap which is very huge. So if you look at in MMR market, to have the parities between affordability and consumer prices, the prices has to undergo corrections. Despite, even though interest rate comes down to even 9% level, still the prices has to undergo correction to the extent of 20-25%. That gap cannot be solved very easily because income won't rise so soon. So that's a basic reason that despite there is a good talks happening that economy is going to grow, but this gap will take time to be filled because builders do not want to reduce the rate and government does not allow the developer to reduce the rate. So we are waiting for people's income to reach to this prices level. And so despite there is a sign that the recovery is there, but the sign that recovery is not being felt in the reality because this gap is not really getting solved. So that's why I'm saying that we are more on the time correction zone. It is going to take 2 years when the parity will come back, and provided that we don't again become exuberant, that again you increase the prices again by 25-30% to maintain that gap. So to some extent government also taking a lot of measures. So if you look at infrastructure connectivities, at the end of it bring the price efficiencies, because when you're connecting more piece of land, then the prices won't really surge very fast. So there would be some kind of a corrections which will happen by virtue of it. But infrastructure takes years. So your problem will not. So what government is doing is announcing these infrastructure projects. The impact of those infrastructure projects will be felt when these projects will be ready. So that is going to take 5 to 6 years time. But nevertheless, we are a housing shortage country. The moment the parity comes in the prices and the affordability, you will see the sales will take place. We are not really facing a problem of a supply overhang. Supply overhang is because the price has become so high that despite there is a huge supply, you can't sell. Unlike UK and or Dubai or other market where your demand itself is not there. Here we still have a huge demand. The moment supply becomes eligible to be met, where this demand can be met, the things will really happen. So it is going to take some time. So macro point of view, things looking very good, and things certainly will be augurs very good for the city or for the country. But for the realty, I think we are into a prolonged stagnancy for almost 2 more years.
So as Mr. Kapoor said, that we are in the correction phase and it will take at least 2 years to get into the parity level, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So one more question which comes up in my mind is that Do you think the real estate sector needs immediate attention from the government so that the momentum doesn't get lost and it continues?
I think they have done good amount of work. For if you look at the maximum focus has been on the real estates, right from UDs to the state level. So there is a number of announcements which has happened. Then government has made a lot of changes. So, but the effect will be felt in time. So you look at government is planning smart cities, government is boosting the infrastructures. All of those things are going on. But the current problem cannot be solved so easily. There are structural issues to it. So overall aspects, future looks very bright, but there's going to be difficult times right now, and it will be there for a year or so.
So as it says that slow and steady wins the race, we are at the working stage, and sooner eventually we'll be there, and there'll be a brighter time coming, right?
Certainly, and you know, and we are seeing a lot of things are changing. It's a law of geographies which are also prevailing, making a lot of corrective measures. So we see, look at a lot of data is available, transparent. If the government comes up with a regulatory bill which will also make the realty more and more transparent. So a lot of things there on the cards, things have to happen. And so in the longer sense, I say that the realty will be more matured, the realty will be more transparent. And the moment you have got this maturity and transparency comes in, I think we will probably be able to say that we qualify for industry status, which builders today is talking about. My own sense is that the conduct and other aspects and the lack of transparency, unless that comes in, it's difficult to really come and say that we belong to
a golden word.
Yeah, the industry status, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So on this interesting note, we'll take a short break. Don't go. Keep watching Spin TV. 57,000 households are unsold in October-December 2014.
It has been intense for a couple of years. But the only thing which I'm saying that the market is trying to attain its own level of inefficiency.
Welcome back. We are going to continue our conversation with Mr. Pankaj Kapoor. There was a report wherein you said that 57,000 households are unsold in October-December 2014.
Yes.
So, can you tell me why is the situation so intense?
Intense in the sense, I'm saying that it has been intense for a couple of years now. But the only thing which I'm saying that the market is trying to attain its own level of inefficiencies every quarter. So if you look at a quarter on quarter, my inventories are rising, and so that means that builders launching more projects, but the sales are not really keeping in pace. So you look at efficient market maintains 8 months to 10 months of inventory. We have reached to a threshold of 50 months of inventory. 50 months of inventory with the sales velocity is less than 1%. Clearly suggests that the developer does not generate enough sales or cash to meet the construction costs which he is committing in the market. So there would be cash-starved situation. So what it certainly suggests that there should be a price correction, and which we are seeing is happening, but not directly, indirectly. New launches happening cheaper level. What is important that the correction should happen across board. And if it happens, then things will change and the efficiencies will be brought in. So all these numbers clearly suggest that price is unproductive. Because in India, we do not have a problem of demand. We have more people living on the streets who are needy and who needs home. And there are more people who are on the fences waiting for years to be able to purchase the houses. And that's a basic reason. Look at our builders over here reduces 10%, 15% prices, and they generate some sales. So, but it solves only few people's problem. It does not solve the problem of real estate.
Sir, in your report, you said that a lot of inventories are piling up, and it will take around 5 years to sell the existing stock. So, sir, what is your say on this? Like, why are so much of inventories piling up?
It's like, which I rightly said, that like, I'm not selling enough. We don't need a dearth of supply. We need more houses. Mumbai need 2 million houses to cater to the need of the people, to solve the problem of slums, to provide the houses to the needies. So we need close to 2 million houses. But the problem is at the current price point, I can't even sell even 40,000 units in a month. In the MMR, if you look at the greater Mumbai, my sales are even below 20,000 units. So which clearly suggests that my sales are suboptimal. So you need to increase the sales. The supply is not a major problem. We need 2 million houses. So you need more and more supply to continue coming in. Inventories are piling up, which clearly suggests that there are developers who purchased the land and they held on for some time, and they now, when you purchase the land, you also make a financial commitment.
Yeah.
And to fulfill your commitment, you also have to produce that particular thing. So they are bound to bring the supply in the market, but the sales are suboptimal. This clearly suggests the inventory level, sales velocities, inventory piling up suggests. All these things suggest for the Indian context that we need a corrections in the prices. So either I wait the incomes to reach to the prices or I correct the price. So that's a state of it. And it is good for the country that the supply to continue pouring, because we are a supply shortage country. So supply is not a major problem. It's a sales which are not enough.
Sir, MCHI CREDAI has approached the state government and entered into a memorandum of understanding of 5 lakh affordable homes. So sir, with this regards, what do you think where we are going?
You know, it's a very nice move, and it was done long back, but actually the progress did not happen as much as it should have. So we certainly need housing so it's a very nice, initiative by the MCHI and CREDAI to move forward. The question is that where would they provide it? Affordable housing homes. If you are providing into a place which is no man's land and no one can go and live, and my current infrastructure, social fabric is not available, then actually it's not going to really serve the purpose. If you create a housing into a place where there's no connectivity current, we're talking about future connectivity for which the announcement has just happened, which is going to take 10 more years. So it's not certainly going to really solve the problem of the housing. So you need to have such commitments, certainly, but we also need to have the land and the vectors of those lands so conducive that which interacts with the populations and their livelihoods in nearby. So such thing is a big problem, and why it did not happen, one has to look back and introspect. It didn't happen because we didn't have the land where to construct, and the land which qualifies to the needs of the people. So that's a very big question. So it's a nice initiative if it can be done. So if you look at, we have huge land parcels available even in the greater Mumbai or close by. So if they want, they can do it. There's a even in MCGM, we look at close to 30 square kilometer of area is still covered by the slums. If the government wants, they can do that. But the question happens is that if you look at, even though slum rehab has come and then new units get constructed with a free sales area also comes in, all these things comes into a very, very costly prices. So in greater Mumbai, none of the slum schemes is providing a home which is less than 1.5 crores. So how can you really provide affordable homes in this particular manner? So we do not have land and the cheaper land. So government can come up with a PPP model and say that create an affordable housing project. And in my own sense, if the government, even though want to come back, builders will not be interested, because if so much of supply within the nearby vicinity comes in, then the rest of the city can't maintain the kind of a prices it is. So it is like everything interacts in that sense. So there are larger problems. So my own sense is going to really, their promise and their initiatives. I do not say such thing is going to be qualifying in times. I do not see the factor, I do not see the viabilities in the current price setting. So good initiative, but very little hopes.
So on this interesting note, we'll take a short break. Don't go, keep watching Spin TV. We see that there is always an increase in the ready reckoner rates. Do you think there's some measures which we can give to the government?
No, here I am also saying that the government rationale they give for increasing FSI ready reckoner rate is that they want to reduce the market rates and the ready reckoner rates.
Welcome back. We are going to continue our conversation with Mr. Pankaj Kapoor. So the flats are not being sold, but still we see that there is always an increase in the ready reckoner rates. So do you think there's some measures which we can give to the government?
No, here I am also saying that the government actually is more exploitative rather than regulatory. And I want to say that they really have to relook their approach to the real estate, and especially about increasing the ready reckoner prices. Only rationale they give for increasing FSI ready reckoner rate is that they want to reduce the market rates and the ready reckoner rates difference. Because of this difference, there's a good amount of the black money which is involved, which gets employed in the real estates. That is one logic, but what they also have to look at, if my current prices are selling, then you increase the prices, that's it's okay. But if my current prices are not selling, and it suggests that I need a corrections in the prices, and you are ignoring this particular facts, and you are still increasing the rates to meet these current prices, you're creating a floor that below which the prices can't reduce. Because in the last to last budget, they brought the regulation which says that if a unit is sold below the ready reckoner rate, the difference amount will be considered as a income in the hand of the buyer. So this ready reckoner rates becomes a floor for the market, and below which the prices can't go down. So it clearly suggests the intentions of the government. I am exploitator of the market. If you are greedy and you have increased the rates, I am also equally greedy. I don't want the corrections in the prices. So these are the two aspects, and I find one has to sit down, an urban planner, an economist also has to sit down and look back and say that a real estate has a huge connections with the performance of the GDP. It contributes heavily because there are a lot of industries which are connected to it. If my prices are unproductive, so it will have an impact on all these industries. So if my cash flows are reducing, so developer will not be or will delay their construction. If they are delaying the construction, the demand for cement, steel, labor, everything will come down. So one has to maintain the productivity of prices. So one has to look at. Government has been increasing the ready reckoner pricing stating that they want to increase the revenue, and they've been increasing. If you look at the premium which a developer pays, various kind of a premium developer pays to the government or BMC, has increased 400% in the last 5 years. And largely because you imposed more and more taxes to the developers, and B, you also increase the base of the calculations. So, and I did an assessment. I said that in the current ready reckoner rates and the ready reckoner for the land rate as mentioned in the ready reckoner, and if I consider my current sales velocity, none of the projects across whole of MCGM is viable, and government is not even looking at it. So my own thing is that they need to go back, re-look. You want to solve the problem of black money? There are easier method of solving it. I do not know, why do you want to go and do the things all around? Why don't you try to do, everyone who buys the land or everyone who is buying a flat, you can take a scrutiny of his income. You can, there are enough, and we are into a digital world. There's enough evidences available where you can compare the prices. Why do you have to just continue raising this particular ready reckoner to and which is unproductive and creating very inefficient and unproductive state of the market? So my own sense is the government has to relook their approach towards the real estate, especially in this, and they need not to be a greedy. They are the one who needs to bring the efficiency. They have a social cost.
That's true.
It's very anti-social.
So, sir, as you rightly said, someone should sit unbiased and talk about this matter so that we can get to a correct decision on this, right? Yeah. So coming on to the next question, when we talk about projects, because of seemingly oversupply of residential and commercial places, it is like the known builders are selling in their projects and they get marketed very, very soon, very nicely. But it's not the same when we talk about the new or the startup builders. So in light of the same, what do you think, or what do you suggest should the the startup builders should do about, and what do they should do so sell their project?
I tell you, there's a difficulties in both. Even the known builders finding it difficult, but nevertheless, since they have a track record, so investors and the consumer have give more weightage to them. But nevertheless, the demand magnitude in India or Mumbai is so high. If you come up with a project where your quality is going to be good, you keep the things transparent, and you keep your prices correct and fair, the product will get picked up. And you would find that we are having across India, if you look at, there are probably 8,000 developers, but 80 to 90% of the real estate are comprises of small developers who are not known, and they are contributing to the real estate in a big way. So you can't really say that the smaller builders do not have a place in this market. Big builders in the current markets are trying to generate large numbers, but they're trying to do it because they have several channel partners, and there's a big campaign, they do it, they sell across the world. Realty is no longer in marketing is meant only for locals. So today sales are happening in Dubai, today sales are happening in UK. So there are channel partners through which they are distributing their stocks. That's what is the say of this. But smaller people can always look at the local market, local demand. If their product is good, their practice is transparent, and if they price it well, there is a very, very good scope for them to create a good name for themselves in the markets. And realty, to some extent, is highly local. You can't say that there's a national brand or there is a city level brand. Realty is very local. So there are developers who specializes the locality. So there is a builder who is known for Ville Parles and the surroundings, and there's a developer who is known for Ghatkopar and surroundings, and there's a builder who is known for Thane and other regions. So you look at different developers have their own catchments, and they are very highly regarded. So there are good names in the local market. So there's enough opportunity even for the smaller developer to create that brand.
So Mr. Pankaj says that there is place for every builder, whether you are a startup or a known builder. There is a place in real estate market. Provided you work confidently, you will be there. Am I right, Mr. Pankaj?
Sure.
Yeah. So to sum up with, what is the golden advice you would give to our viewers?
My own sense is that there's never a bad time when you are looking at buying a house for yourself. But I would say that if you are comfortable buying, in the sense of that you have enough money to buy, and you buy it for your own self-use. Today is not a market for investments. So unless you are getting some distressed deal, which is 20-25% less than the current market rates, then you can look at the investments point of view. But nevertheless, for end user point of view, because you've been waiting for a very long time, if you see your desired properties available which you can afford, developers are good, location is good, from where you can commute to your place of work, you can find your family secure in your absence, where your family life can really enjoy your schools for your children, says available markets are there, then you can still buy even the current market. There is no market which is wrong. I also say that, but be wary of buying into the places which are completely uninhabitable and undeveloped, far away places. Don't look at for the investment point of view. Always look at, like, people purchase on the basis of where they work. So make sure that you can travel and you can travel comfortably. Even for the Mumbai kind of inconvenience, Even if your travel time is 1.5 hours, that's a fine. But if it's beyond 2.5 hours, you're going to live your remaining life hugely stressful. Don't look at those things. I also advise that people should visit their prospective house and the locations in the night too, because when you go in the night, you probably feel and sense the environment, vibrancies, whether that place is livable, the problems related to those markets. Those are the things one should really look at. So for the end user, there's never a bad market, as long as he's able to afford and find the property which is fitting in his own cage of his requirement. But for investors, my own sense is, if you are a long term, you can. Long term means 20 years or 25 years you can look at. That's not a major problem, because today I see that current prices will see a stagnancy, so you will lose the interest. So whether you buy today or whether you buy after 2 years, prices are going to be more or less the same. So it makes sense to put the money in the FD and enjoy the interest rather than, or you can look at equities or other instruments which are showing surge. So that's where the reality is set.
So very important advice given by Sir is that no time is the wrong time if you really want to buy or you want to really purchase your dream space. Whether you are an investor or a buyer, just do a proper research and you will be right there. Research is the only key with which you can reach wherever you want. So coming on to the end, I would like to say that thank you so much, sir, for joining in the discussion and giving your valuable time. Viewers, please keep writing to us because it gives us a know-how of where we are leading and what are the small things which are missing out. We will be back with a new story. Till then, keep watching Spin TV.